Ultralight Backpacking and Survival Tips with Steve Gilman. This is October 13th in Colorado. You can see that the snow has already fallen in the higher country and even around my feet a little bit here. I'm at about 11,000 feet, I believe, and up behind the trees there is the top of Waugh Mountain at 11,700 and some feet. And I think I'm going to hike up there. Mid-October, and I'm hiking to the top of Mount Waugh in Fremont County, Colorado. As you can see, sometimes the snow comes a little bit early. This is actually from last week. I believe it was the 7th or 8th of October when it snowed. And, well, to give you an idea, that's my shoe underneath the snow there. So it is a little over ankle deep. And that's what you have to expect in the mountains here. You never know when the snow is going to come. I've been in 4 feet of snow on September 18th. I'm at about 11,300 feet here, I think. I'm approaching the summit of Mount Waugh. Haven't seen a footprint since I left the car. And the snow that fell was almost a week ago. So this is a good example of one of those places where you can go and have a mountain to yourself. I'm at the summit, and directly at the very top stands this dead tree. I'm going to see if I can climb up the tree to get a view of 3 different mountain ranges. The Sawatch Range, whatever range Pikes Peak is part of, and the Sangre de Cristos. Looking at Pikes Peak over there, the Sangre de Cristo Mountains in that direction, and the Sawatch Range over here. Everywhere I look there are mountains actually. And this is the tree that I'm in. If you've got running shoes on and 10 pounds on your back, or maybe 15, you can go all day. I've been hiking in the snow in my running shoes with soaked feet for well over an hour. And believe it or not, in my t-shirt also. But that's because you develop a lot of heat when you're hiking uphill. And even though I wear these thin dress socks, the cold water on my feet feels good because they get very hot coming up here. So footwear is another one of those things you have to think about in terms of context. I know, for example, that I'm going to be hiking on some nice dry ground further down, and these kind of running shoes with the thin material will dry out very quickly, and the socks will dry out as well. But of course I always have a spare pair of socks too, so if I were to camp up here tonight I could put on dry socks before I went to sleep. So it's a matter of context. You got to use your head. You don't have to always have all the things people say you need to have. If you look, you can see there's snow already. Came a little bit early this fall. Yet despite that, even up here at 11,000 feet, there are dandelions. And they're blooming. There's some fresh leaves. There are flowers. You can eat the flowers. Those you can eat raw. You can get your vitamins. If you need more calories in a survival situation, you'd want to dig the roots. For digging the roots, you can use any stick. Just get in touch with your inner caveman and start digging down. Now, the roots on these are particularly small. You see, that's not even as thick as a green bean. But if you get enough of them, there are a lot of calories in that. And you can eat them raw, although they would be better cooked. You'd probably digest them better cooked. There's a little bit bigger one. You can see that root has some more flesh to it. You'd only need a couple dozen of these, and this took less than a minute to dig, to have a fairly filling meal. You could eat the dandelions. Leaves are a little bit old. I wouldn't eat the leaves on this. The new leaves are a lot tastier. When they're old, they tend to be bitter, and the roots really are better cooked. But that's a better example of what you can find out here, even when there's snow on the ground. Backpackers sometimes will shorten their toothbrushes to save a little bit of weight. You know, you might save a ½ ounce after all. But you might be an ultralight backpacker if you cut that last inch off and go with just the head alone. It's a little tricky to use, but... And you're definitely an ultralight backpacker if you trim the bristles to save even more weight. I think I got 1/100 of an ounce there. 2/100 of an ounce now. I'm going to go to save a whole 1/20 of an ounce altogether here, I think. There we go. Thank you for watching Ultralight Backpacking and Survival Tips with Steve Gilman. For more information, you can see the ultralightsite.com, the ultralightbackpackingsite.com, or buy the book Ultralight Backpacking Secrets, now available on Kindle and Nook.